Welcome back. Well, discovering that a partner has cheated can be one of the most devastating and challenging experiences to overcome in a relationship. And regardless of how inconceivable it might seem, the harsh reality is cheating on a partner is not uncommon. So why do people cheat, and can a relationship ever survive it? For today's agenda, we're joined by couples counsellor Melissa Ferrari and Shelley Horton from Nine Honey. Good morning.
Welcome to you
both.
Good morning.
Now, Shelley, I'm going to start with you because you've experienced this firsthand. Both
sides.
Both sides of this scenario. What do you think causes a partner to not just stray, but ultimately forge a relationship with someone else?
I think you have to be unhappy in the relationship, and I think that you have to be weak. And for me, what happened the first time that someone cheated on me, I had been seeing this guy for 6 months, and my best friend had been seeing him for 3 months behind my back. So not only did my relationship break up, but I lost my best friend as well. So that was probably more painful than losing the guy. I was happy to kick him to the curb, but I have never spoken to her, and that was more than 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yep.
And how did that come to light?
She admitted it. And I said I was pleased that she told me to my face, but then I never wanted to see her face again.
Did they continue on as a couple?
They did for a while, but it didn't last. So yeah, I think
feel?
it's really, I felt like an idiot. I felt embarrassed. I felt like a fool. I found out that a lot of my friends knew and hadn't told me, and so I was angry at them, and I understand they were put in a really difficult position, but I feel so strongly about cheating now that if I find out that someone's cheating, I will expose them.
And you've been very open about this. Talk to us about being the culprit of cheating.
Yeah, so this is something that is not very comfortable to talk about. No one wants to be labelled a cheater. Nobody wants to be a bad mum. It's one of those things that everyone sweeps under the table. But I really think that it's time for us to be a bit more authentic. If we look at the statistics on cheating, there have to be other people doing it. And in my situation, I justified it saying I was single and he was in a relationship, so therefore it was okay. And now I want to go back to younger me and shake me and just go, you are letting the sisterhood down. This is not okay. And what I have learnt from it is no one wins. It's cruel to you, it's cruel to him, it's cruel to his partner. It is a horrible situation, and I wish more people would speak openly about it when I was younger so I could hear someone saying this. Just don't do it. No one wins.
It's really gutsy to talk about
it's
it, Shelley.
It's not very nice to talk about. I don't like it.
Well, it's done. It's done. You've revealed it.
Yeah.
Melissa, let's then just talk about the definition of cheating. I mean, is that situation where Shelley was actually single at the time any different to had she have been in a relationship?
Well, I think she was single and she had an affair with someone that was married, so that is technically an infidelity. But I think what's important is that checking in on herself, that maybe at that time it might have been okay, but on reflection she's had the ability to go, you know what, I'd go back to my younger self and I probably wouldn't do that again. Yeah. And that's that real moral compass, which I think is very much internal, and it does need to be developed, and I think it's great that you're sharing your story.
Does cheating have to be physical?
No, it doesn't have to be physical. It can be little things like sometimes people might just be messaging each other on social media, or it might be an old friend and, you know, you find that you're really liking a lot of their stuff and making lots of comments on Facebook. And I mention social media because it really does prop up affairs, unfortunately, and it is a lot where it does kind of start. And so even if you are commenting on someone's post a lot to get that engagement, you really could be stepping into the cheating zone.
Shelley, there was obviously a physical attraction, I'm imagining, with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you knew he was married.
Yeah.
You knew he was hooked up with someone else. Did that make it more thrilling, or did it occur to you that was wrong?
It wasn't like that. It was more like, oh, he must be really unhappy, and so therefore I'm, perfectly okay. And I think the biggest thing with, even with the online cheating and stuff like that, is if you wouldn't put that message in front of your partner, then it is considered an affair. So, yeah, I think it's one of those tricky things. For me, it's made things very black and white for me. Very black and white.
The reality is it's not always black and white. So the question is, can a relationship survive cheating? And we asked our viewers for their thoughts on this topic. It's been really interesting. Liz says, yes, it can work. It happened to me, and after a good, long, hard look at each other, 8 years later, we're still together, stronger than ever. People make mistakes. And this one from Kelly, no, once a cheat, always a cheat. cheat? Why would you want to live the rest of your life fearing they would do it again, which they more than likely do? They don't respect you in the first place. Is that right?
Well,
Once a cheat, always a cheat?
I think what Liz says there, she really brings in the humanness, that we all really can make mistakes and that we can be reflective on it. And the biggest thing is that where couples in my practice I find can move through is really if there is remorse and regret. And that's got to be very much there between the couple on the person that has betrayed the other. They need to be able to tolerate all the feelings that the other person is going to have, which does take a strong person, but it does take time to be able to work through all of that. And you both need to be able to buy back into the relationship, particularly the one that has betrayed, really needs to work hard at making up for it. And at times that can take years, but the thing about relationships are breaking up is hard to do. And the investment that people have in a relationship, particularly if there are children, I think just to say, we're done and I'm moving on and that's the end of it, I think that doesn't really consider us as humans, that, when we bond and we do that ferociously and the brain, even that primitive brain engages us in that. And so when that bond is made, it's really hard for people to move on.
We are complicated beings, aren't we?
We are.
We are absolutely out of time. I'm so sorry. I would love to have kept going, but we're out of time. I'm getting the wind. Thank you for being so candid.
welcome.
Really appreciate it, and great advice as always, Melissa.
Thank you.
Back to you, Carl.
Thank you, G.